Good evening and welcome to the Board of Appeals and Equalization. It is Monday, April 8th at 6:30 and I call the meeting to order. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Looking for a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Moved by DeLuca,
I'll second that.
second by Fay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it 5-0. Our item of business this evening before us is the Board of Appeal and Equalization, and I'm going to turn that over to Jason. Will you put-
right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, council members, I'm Jason Veit, the Hennepin County residential appraiser. I'm just going to run through a brief. I'm hoping you all got the sales book. Took a little bit to get there. I apologize for that. But I'm just going to kind of briefly go over it and then answer any questions you may have and go on with that. So for the 2024 assessment, taxes payable 2025, our sales studies period was October 2022 through September of 2023. We had 22 single-family home sales, in which 11 were qualified sales. Then last summer, we did 121 quintile reviews, 35 were interior reviews or verbal reviews, and then I also did 5 new construction reviews. Based on our sales analysis and our market study, property values saw the following increases and decreases. The residential decreased negative 1.9%. The duplex triplex went down negative 1.1. Apartment increased 0.4%. Commercial increased 2.7%. Industrial increased 1.4%. After the valuation notices were mailed out, the residential side of it, I received 3 calls, and 2 of them were on regarding the homestead, and another one just wanted to kind of learn more of how the process was done. And then there was 1 call for commercial. That is all I have. So any questions and as of right now, I don't think there was gonna be any residential people showing up. Nobody reached out. And of those 3, they were all satisfied with what we chatted about on the phone. Didn't have to, there's really no value questions after.
The commercial property, do you turn that over to another assessor then to answer those questions?
I would turn that over to the commercial appraiser. He is not here. I did take down their information already. So basically what I was told to do is if they want to appeal, I would recommend that what their current value is, do a no change. And then at that time, then if you wanted to do a reconvene, then I would have our commercial appraiser, Dave, get in touch with these guys and set something up, do that whole deal, and then
Which
possibly
property are we talking about here?
It is 5115 Industrial Street. You want the PID?
No, is that across the street from the old,
There you go.
is that across, it's not you. Is that across the street from the old dump, or the old compost facility?
It's
Guy in
Jack
the corner?
and his son.
Huh?
It's his.
That's
Jack and
yours?
his- That's his son, David. That's
Oh.
Jack Heinrich from ED, and his son, David Heinrich.
We need to apparently make more public appearances. I called City Hall today. David Henderson?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, I was new.
He just started April 1. You can't blame Kevin.
Did they bring their concern forward to the assessors?
Last year we did.
I'm saying this year.
Can you come to the mic, please? Thank you. And introduce yourself.
Hi, David Henrich, property owner, well, son of the property owner of Burgers and Caswell, president of Burgers and Caswell. And no, we did not. We missed contacting the assessor. I picked this up off my desk today, realized that tonight was the kind of the last chance. And frankly, last year after talking to the assessor, I wasn't very encouraged that we were going to be able to make any headway on a reevaluation of the property, because they were pretty convinced that they had nailed it when I think they had missed really what they were using as comps, and realizing that our property was really not comparable to some of the properties they were evaluating. Because I don't know if you're all aware, but our property value was increased. Well, the initial assessment was over $1 million. We went from the initial in 1 year, going from $1.4 million property value to over $2.5 million. My dad did do some work with Dave last year, and they reduced it to $2.3 million, which is a pretty substantial year-over-year increase, especially when the comparables that they were using aren't really reflective of the kind of property we have at 5115 Industrial Street, which is very low lying. We can't pave that lot. Anybody that would, if anybody wants to come and visit, we can go ahead, but we're going to visit the whole property. And I would advise that you bring your tall boots, because it is not easy to maintain. And because of the conditions of the site, it really just shouldn't be compared to, I think one of the comps that I was referred to was the sale of the property at Industrial Street in 19, that gray facility, where they've got they're 6 feet higher in elevation, they've got a pavable lot, and a lot more serviceable land. So I think there's a few problems that kind of came through with how they calculated out our property value, let alone the fact that we increased it, 70% in 1 year. So those are my concerns, and like I said, last year we did talk to Dave, but we just did not make much headway. Sorry for the long-winded answer to that, Mike.
I'm at a little loss here, because there is a process for appealing these, and you can certainly come here, which you've done, but I have absolutely no information in front of me. I had even asked what the property ID was. So without somebody from the county here, how can we continue talking about this? I don't even know what, you said you would know that this has an extra million. I have absolutely no knowledge of what that is right now, other than what's in public. But this is not, I don't want to be doing this without being able to study this information. I'm at a loss, Mayor, as to what we should do, because I expect the county to be here to defend what they did, not have you look at a cell phone and tell me that this is what he told me he can do. Where is he?
I can't answer that.
And I would have to echo those thoughts. I don't believe, I appreciate you coming here and respect your time and want to honor that, but also we need to make an informed decision. And we don't have, I personally don't feel we have that information. Councilmember DeLuca has already shared that. Others have. So Jason, what do you recommend in terms of the county and next steps then?
What we could do, there's two things we could do. One, I would say no, I have to say no change, and then a reconvene could be done. Or, no change, you guys close it, they were here, they have now the opportunity to go to the county board.
But if we reconvene, then they could come back here.
Then they could
and we
come
could get
back.
their answers for them, which should have happened tonight.
Yes and no. If they reached out to Dave prior, Dave might have been able to come up with a lower value. But that didn't happen. But now they came to the board, so that's okay.
Well,
except, go ahead.
Time out. Would Dave be recommending a lower value, or is Dave's recommendation to keep it the same, or do you not know?
He would have to review the property. Me, as a residential appraiser, I am going to say no change.
When did you reach out to Dave?
This was last year. After.
When did you reach out this year?
When did you reach out this year on this valuation?
The thing is, when an assessor tells you this is.
Mr. Heinrich, will you come to the mic too, please? Thank you.
Well, I did not want to talk to this group.
Oh, wow.
I gotta move this mic down, and you're gonna be hearing me later anyway. It's not
okay.
about this, of course. I have dealt with assessors in Orono, in residential, and it was not
At your home.
And they said, this is how I assessed it, this is what I decided, and this is what it's gonna be. Okay, I reached out to the assessor last year, okay, and this year I put it in David's hands, and David says, this is what he said, he cut it 10%, okay? 10% of $1 million. Can you imagine figure what that really is in real money, folks? Okay, and what the tax value is and what it's doing to his employees, okay? And David said, there's no reason for me to reach out to Dave, because what did your value go up this year?
Another $10,000, $15,000.
You know, so it was, this year's, there was really nothing to reach out for. And so we had to take the route that we did to see what the city council can do to help us with Hennepin County, because this is not fair, flat out. So, any other questions?
Questions from any?
Jack,
Well, our hands are tied because we can't go back.
No.
As far as I know.
We have two choices, either
We,
reconvene,
or-
where
Or you
we
go to the
can
county.
have the county present their side, you present yours, or we simply pass it on and let you deal with the county directly. Those are our only two choices we have
I am
tonight.
turning it back to the.
No, my preference, because I've already gone, Jack talked to the county, I talked to the county, we made almost no headway. I would prefer to have an intervener, which is the city, stay involved with this, so we can try to figure out something,
But
more
with all due
fair.
respect, you have not talked to them this year.
He talked to David Thompson last year. I talked to David Thompson last year. There was zero, in fact, David told me the
Did
only
you
way that I
talk
could
to him
fix
this
anything.
year?
No, I did not, because
Well-
he already gave me a concrete answer last year as to what he was gonna do, which was nothing. And so I'm throwing myself at the city that I live in, that I was born in, that I've worked in my whole life, to give us a little help here with Hennepin County, because they're not willing to discuss this valuation. They're not willing to look at our property fairly. And the fact that this was able to go through in the first place kind of lets you know how little consequence they place on anything that we talk to them about. I just think it's, you know, there's just not many other forms of recourse besides literally selling the property and finding out what it actually is worth. And that's how I feel that we're at, and that's why we're here, and that's why I don't have spare moments in a week to go round and round with an assessor who's already told me what their opinion is. I don't have enough minutes or hours in the week to get done what I need to get done on a regular basis, let alone ask another government entity, are they sure? And they tell me yes, because I hear that from other regulatory agencies all the time. They don't do a very good job of reconsidering their opinion unless you get a third party involved, which I hope is this group.
Have you seen the Minnesota Revenue Department's preparing an appeal to your local board? There's a nice, it's in our packets out online, and it goes through what you do, how you do it, who you talk to, in what sequence you do that. We're all trained in what that state statutory process is. And I'll point out one thing here. Remember, how you present your case, your facts, may affect the outcome of your appeal. You have to start with the county.
I want to take this over then. The facts are the facts, flat out, and I understand that, Mike, and you know I do. When an assessor says you have 4.7 acres of outside storage that is getting very limited now because cities are limiting outside storage, or they're doing away with it through the, what's the process we go through, Julie? When we
The code?
What?
The
Code
code.
evaluations, yeah. So your property is so valuable because you allow, Maple Plain allows outside storage. They don't see when trucks of any size go through our yard that they get stuck, because if you look to the east of us, it's salt swamp. If you look to the west of Burgerson Caswell, it's higher and higher and higher. Everything drains down into Burgerson Caswell's property. We cannot blacktop it, flat out. I don't even want to give you an estimate on what it would take to blacktop that whole property, but it's probably closer to $250,000. Okay, to get it up to the standards that would make it worth what, I'm not gonna look at you, I'm not gonna look at you because you're my friend, what Hennepin County assessors think it's worth. And they come in, you know, I did a walkthrough with the assessor in July.
July of
2023. 22 probably, yeah. Don't ask me, hey, at my,
2023.
yeah.
So
and-
after the increase?
No,
after-
before the increase.
But July of '23 would have been after the Board of
No, this was 20
Equalization last year.
Very possibly,
Well,
right.
it's always in April.
yeah. So we did a walkthrough and the yard's nice and dry, it's easy to walk through. I explained what we had done to get it up to the ability to move around. And it all seemed fine until all of a sudden we got the, you know, that $1 million increase. So,
Well, Jack and David, I can see that your taxable value went up about $7,000 last year to this year. But it was a sizable $700,000 jump from '22 to '23. And that's, I think, because it was, from '21 to '22, it only went up, I'm sorry, we're talking your money, not mine. It went up $130,000, which was about a 10% increase. But you saw a sizable jump the next year, and I think that's when you started getting Hennepin County involved, but you were late to the game last year.
That's also correct, because we did not get, like I said, understaffed. Timing is not great. There was a little bit of a disconnect because he is the property owner. I'm just the guy who carries the triple net lease. And so there was a little disconnect between how and who follows this up, and it just kind of fell through the cracks. And, you know, like you brought up tax court. That was the only option I was given last year, because we didn't hit everything on the proper deadlines. In fact, this was falling away again this year
Yeah.
until I picked up this paper, because I finally had 2 seconds to clean off the left side of my desk and read the bottom and said, tonight's the last chance to do anything about this. And so that's kind of, I understand, like, that we missed some steps in this,
Well,
but.
no, but
it's a
I don't
busy
think
line.
the steps are critical here, but I think what's important is those steps need to happen.
Oh,
You need to be
yes.
in, we can certainly do we can move this to another date, give you an opportunity to work with the Hennepin County assessor, have you build your case with them as to why that shouldn't. See what Hennepin County says if they're going to do or not do. There is statutory law that says we have no ability as a board to decrease that to your favor unless they come in and do an assessment or a inspection on it. So there's a built-in step that the county has to be involved.
Agreed. And
And
I
are you
appreciate
willing to
that.
do that?
Absolutely, and we should, because that's what I've said, is that I don't think we're not going to go back. We need to reassess the property. That's really like you said, that's the only way forward, is through a reassessment. Because going back 2 calendar years, and we apologize that we're a little out of step on the timing of all of this, because if we would have been on top of it right from the get-go, maybe we could have avoided having to look back here. But I don't know what to say other than it is, well, anybody who's running a small business right now knows exactly how taxing it is to try to keep up with everything on a day-to-day.
So if I'm hearing you right, David, your wish for tonight then, that we would, because we do need to still follow procedure, would be that we would go with the no change and reconvene, and then you would come and present your case, and you'd be willing to meet with the commercial assessor in the meantime and do the proper steps.
Absolutely.
Our attorney says yes.
You're the property owner, so technically you are.
Mayor, I don't believe we're going to be doing a no change. We're just going to,
Oh, I thought we had.
Yeah, I would say no change, but then it would be a reconvene
But a
if you
reconvene with
choose
the
to do that
facts.
route. And then.
that's different than saying no change. No change would send them to the county for the county board to do the
I
review.
think I as a residential, but we could just do a reconvene.
Okay.
Is there
Sorry, I
a cost
misunderstood Jason.
associated with reconvening?
Nope.
Just our time and an agenda.
Yeah, everybody's time, I guess.
And I do appreciate everybody's time in the matter, because I know how valuable that time is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to do those steps that need to be done, I'm comfortable reconvening and, feel like like to your point, that,
And also note that whatever you're able to work out with the industrial assessor, then it comes back here. If you're still not satisfied, then
Goes to the county.
you can go appeal in Minnesota tax court, or is that?
County board.
County
County
board.
board.
County
If you're
level.
not, if you're not content with that, then you will go to
Then, yes.
tax court. I mean, so you have
Hope you got all
multiple,
that, kid.
Yeah.
it's just time.
Yeah, I do, right.
Time you don't
It's
have.
just
John,
falling
you're
off the
now,
tree.
you're now our advisor.
No, and really, I mean, you folks are our neighbors here. And so if we're not seeing the picture clearly, I'm gonna leave it to my neighbors to say, hey, you guys have been just doing really, really well, and we caught up all in 1 year. So let me know if you guys do feel that we've got this spot on, and I will happily go ahead and just tuck it and take it.
Well, I think the ball's in your court at this point, because you need to reach out to.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But we're gonna, when we reconvene, we're gonna come back, and if, I'm perfectly willing to just
okay.
I want to hear what your guys' perspective is on the value here. You know, if I've just missed it and we've just been flying under the radar for a long time, because we've been there for 46
1976.
years, then so be it.
But I don't think this is as much hearing us as you need to prove that what the county is putting at that assessment is not correct.
Right.
You have to
They've
have your
been-
data, you have to have your background, you have to have your research, and you have an opportunity to convince the
Like
The county
I've
first.
I've dealt with the county before, and they compared my property on West Arm to, who was that, like, the guy that got caught on the drugs?
Lamond,
What? Yeah.
Lamond.
They compared my property to his. He's got all oak furnishings, he's got, great windows, he's looking over Smith's Bay, and that's the comps that they used. So you can't always trust the comps that they pick, because, oh, this is the closest we could find within 5 miles of your property. Well, things on Smith's Bay always sold for more than West Arm. And actually, my home on West Arm went down, believe it or not, from last year, the property value. So it's just, it's sometimes when you have to look to our local government to tell the bigger government, or have people that are willing to advise you, that they need to be more realistic. And the way that, we'll talk about it later.
Jack, you're gonna hear from the industrial appraiser, assessor, that between 22 and 23, there was a double-digit increase in industrial property. Your neighbor to the north went from $2.98 million to $5.6 million. So,
That would be,
ABC,
yeah.
yeah, in 1 year.
It's all paved.
It's all paved.
I understand,
It's
but
all-
I mean,
It's all
the-
buildings, what you got, honestly, folks, take a walk down, look at what's to the west of us, look at what's to the east, Burgers and Castle, and look at to the north. And then look to the south, because it's all farm field, and we are a conglomeration of all of those properties, and they don't take that into account, and everything flows into Burgers. If you were to dig a hole, 3 feet, you'd find water.
In all of Maple Plain.
No, not like this.
And this is
You
what
gotta
we
remember, I lived on West Main Street
For quite a while.
15 years.
All right, well, thank you
Oh,
both.
we've taken way too much of your time.
No.
We appreciate you coming and speaking tonight. I'm going to turn it over to Jason from the county to walk us through the next steps then, and then also to confirm that your staff will follow up with our residents. our
Yes,
business owners.
Dave will be getting a hold of you. I got your name, number down here. He will be getting a hold of you tomorrow and setting something up. As far as a reconvene, is that how we are gonna do reconvene? That has to be done within 20 days.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So I don't know.
So today's April 8th. Do you think we'd be ready by the 22nd?
Why don't we?
Well, we have to allow enough
Yeah,
time.
no, next week I'm out of town next week. So anytime the week of the 22nd, I'm available.
Would the 22nd work, Jacob, from the staff perspective? And you said 20
Well,
days?
we want to give him enough time to work with the county.
Right, that's what, Yeah, that's 2 weeks.
He's saying he's gone.
And Mike, with all, I'll make sure that.
He said he could do it that
Yeah,
week.
no, we'll figure it out. And as I said, unless something has significantly changed over the last 18 months, the county's already given us our opinion. There's really not much to work on.
Is that business days or 20 days total?
Business days too.
So would Monday, the 29th work?
I think that would work better.
That would be better. I think that would give everyone more time. And we're within the number, so he doesn't miss anything. All right, council, can you check your calendars for Monday,
I'm
the
good.
29th?
I'm open.
What time?
Do you want
7
5:30 or
5:30?
7?
5:30.
All right,
5:30?
does that work, Jason?
Yeah.
All right, so I am looking for a motion to reconvene the Board of Appeal and Equalization for Monday, April 29th at 5:30 PM.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Fay,
I'll second that.
second by Councilmember Burek. Any further discussion or questions from staff, from the county? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We will reconvene the Board of Appeals and Equalization on Monday, April 29th at 5:30 PM.
Thank you very much.
Any other business to come before us for this meeting?
Thank you.
Hearing none, looking for a motion to adjourn?
Madam Mayor.
Oh, excuse me.
We've reconvened the meeting.
Oh, so we don't
have to
adjourn it. I knew that, sorry.
So we'll just pick up where we left off.
All right,
on the 29th.
we'll reconvene on the 29th at 6:58.